Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists that it is completely possible to have a great career in the arts. And if you ever want to tune in and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just check out the schedule over at facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly, and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So, if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. This week's episode features Artist Academy Advanced member Mandy Tardif. So, in the advanced membership, some weeks I'll do an artist spotlight where I bring one of the members on live with me. It's not as scary as you think, but they go live with me. So we go live together and I ask them questions or they ask me questions, and it's usually because they have a specific struggle that they're going through, so they need a lot of advice or something. But in Mandy's case, it's because she has an amazing story to tell. So I asked her to come on live with me and share it with you. She has been through a lot in her lifetime so far and has come through it better than ever. Mandy shares about how she used to be really shy, like painfully shy, and you would not think it by talking to her now. That's just a little bit of her story. So despite all of what she has gone through in her past, and she's about to tell you all about it. She's so open. I love it. She is truly seizing the day nowadays. I invited Mandy to share her story as a hope that it inspires you and gives you that extra push to get through whatever it is you're going through right now, because we're all going through something or will at some point, and Mandy is a great example of someone who is seeing the positive in everything, and she explains how that has changed her life for the better. So let me know what you think about this week's episode with Mandy Tardif.
And so you can tell a bit about your story. I know, we've talked a while, for a while on the phone while I was driving a couple weeks ago. But I would really like to just kind of focus on, just tell about your story a little bit, and then we can talk about because I want to emphasize on, if someone's, going through a hard time right now, it's are you going through a hard time? It could be worse. You know what I mean?
Relative. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try to make it a nutshell version of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, gosh, I've been drawing since I was 3 and always loved art, gravitated toward it naturally. My parents put me in art lessons when I was 7. But I was super insecure as a child. I'm not sure why. I was just really insecure. And I was drawing a little bit here and there, but I never felt like I was good enough. I was always comparing myself to other artists, never feeling like I could measure up. And I remember there's a show called Star Search. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, with Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
And you could go on there and you could sing, and I so wanted to be on that show. But I was just, I don't know, I was the type of child that looked at other people and thought they're just different. And I'm not like them. And they just have this thing where they just are amazing or something. So I never aspired to, or I never went for things. But anyway, I was pretty known for my artistic talent, winning awards and such. I did go to college for graphic design. I did not know what that was. In fact, this was back in 1994. And the reason why I went into graphic design was because I thought it was the only way you could make a living as an artist, even though literally I didn't even know what a graphic designer was. And back when I was in college, this is so crazy to think of, but it was like right when the internet started, and we did not do anything on the computer. We did everything by hand. So I graduated from college. It took me a while. I got into some addictions and such, which really held me back for many, many years. In fact, I'm pretty open about this part of my life, but it's amazing that I'm alive. Let's just put it that way. But nonetheless, I graduated from college, and then I was just sort of lost for a long time. Kind of drew here and there, but just really, really in a dark, dark, dark place. And it got darker, and I really didn't even know how to get out of it. I mean, I had a severe eating disorder where I almost died. And then in June 6, 2006, so 666, very interesting date, my life changed like so significantly. And it was a culmination of things, and I don't really know why it was on that date, but I just got to like the end of myself, I guess. There was a progression of me like knowing that there's more, but I don't know how to get there, because it's this Groundhog Day every day. And it was just so like bewildered at my inability to like get somewhere, get traction, and literally not knowing what to do. So I just fell to my knees this one day, and I just was like, I don't know what to do, help me. Actually, I was crying and screaming. And then I ended up getting into a 12-step program, and I got sober on June 6, 2006. So that's, 14 years ago?
Yeah.
When I was 29. And then I actually got into a program that helped me with my eating disorder. And so it's been an amazing past 14 years. Like, I can't even tell you. So there's been so much healing that is beyond. And art is just, I'm just so grateful for the blessing of art. And I remember like the first drawing I ever did when I was sober was a butterfly. And I find that significant. I wasn't a conscious thing like, oh, I'm going to draw a butterfly. But now looking back, I'm like, isn't it interesting? I drew the most beautiful, colorful butterfly in the style that I didn't even know that I had. So you look at the artwork before, and it was still fine. But it was like I was copying people's artwork. I didn't know what my own style was. I was copying Mickey Mouse and all that. And then you look at my artwork after, and it's so different. And it's just been this amazing progression of more color and more vibrancy and more like finding my unique style. And so when I got sober, I just took a job as this person who ran a chiropractic office. And then I ended up losing my job because of this severe pain that I've been in for a long time, which then led me to say, to kind of being like, shoot, I need to figure out how to do this artistic thing full time. It forced me into that place because I wanted the security of a paycheck, or I just thought it wasn't possible because of the messages that I had heard my whole life. Artists can't make it, starving artists, all that stuff. But life literally forced me, like, you can't hold a normal job because of your pain. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? And pretty much like 2 weeks later, a friend of mine called me and said, can you babysit my kids? And I was like, sure. And they know I love art. So they said, hey, we just got this face painting kit. Can you paint our faces? Up to that point, I had painted paper, walls, everything, but not people. And so I was like, yeah, I'll paint your toes and your feet and your face. And I loved it so much. It was just amazing to like paint on this live canvas. Then a couple weekends later, I actually painted for a birthday party. I actually made a little bit of money. And then after that, another one and another one. And since then, I painted thousands and thousands of people. I got into the world of body art. I was actually asked to go on a television show called Skin Wars. The producer reached out to me. That door is still open, which is incredible. But that form of art, now looking back, because a lot of life is like looking back in hindsight, I'm like, wow, like that art form is so healing. To be in the presence of another person, to really see them, to really just pay attention to like their body, their movements, and the colors that I would feel vibrating from that person, and just paint something so beautiful on them. Then they would look in the mirror, and it was like they were finally seeing their glory and beauty for the first time. It just, their insides like came out in this bigger way. And it was just like it's just like a very interesting spiritual experience to paint someone and to be painted. And I spent many years painting myself. I started a YouTube channel, and so I spent we're talking like someone who was so severely addicted to alcohol and drugs, and so bulimic, and in such insecurity that it goes beyond what I can even describe and articulate. So this art form, like, it just helped me build confidence. It helped me, like, I would just paint myself and transform my body into like a tiger or a leopard in these ways that people look at, they're like, how did you paint that on yourself? How did you? And I'd be like, I never thought about that. Like, yeah, that probably seems kind of difficult, but like, I don't know, it's like easy.
Yeah.
And I'd wear this like leopard, thing on my face, and then I would take pictures of myself, and then it's like something on the inside started to come out more and more, like bits and pieces of my personality and my depth and all this stuff. Like, looking back, it's just interesting. So I did that for a while, but then it's been interesting to be a single woman living in California. It's expensive. It's beautiful here. It's expensive. And to make a living full time as an artist and having as much pain as I have on a day-to-day basis. I mean, like right now, my whole right side is just burning. I'm always in pain. It gets worse every year. And to manage that and to keep a smile on my face, it's really difficult. So I've had to have all these other jobs and try to somehow make this work so that I can keep every day, like, doing all the things that I need on a given day to fill my soul, like having connection with people and make sure I'm exercising and eating well and sleeping well and just having like balance in all areas of my life and having my foundation intact, first and foremost, and then trying to make a living and have creativity. And so I've taken jobs as a substitute teacher, which is fantastic because the kids are busy doing their work, and I wrote a book while I was substitute teaching. So I was able to be creative, make money, and then, create something while I was working and making money. So just trying to be like strategic and wise about all these different ways of like, how can I have my fundamentals in place and still make a living, and keeping things in balance. So anyway, there's so much. But I was thinking, body art's just not a way that I can make money full time. So a year ago, I was like, maybe I could paint canvas paintings. And so I approached one of my really good friends who happens to be a gallery owner. And I said, hey, how does a canvas painter make it? And she said, well, start by creating a body of work, at least 12 paintings. And so I was like, okay. So that was like my goal, paint 12 paintings. I had no idea what these 12 paintings were going to be, but I knew I wanted to paint 12. I needed to paint 12 paintings. And at that time, I was witnessing these artists on Instagram who were painting portraits, painting people, painting women. And there was this thing going on in the inside of me, this liberation finally out of all this dogma and religiosity and just all this programming, social programming, cultural programming. Like, again, in hindsight, I see it now, but like there was this release and liberation that was going on inside of me, and there was no words to describe what was going on inside of me, except in order to express it visually as an artist, I was like, I need to be able to paint people, because then I'll be able to take what's going on in here and put it on a canvas and then be like, that's what's going on for me. So my first painting I called it Divine Liberation, and it's a woman. She's just looking up, and there's swirls and color dancing all around her. And it's literally like her soul is just coming alive. And that's when I started stepping into like my femininity and me as a woman, and like being powerful instead of being so meek and so shy. I was so shy. I couldn't even leave the house for more than an hour. I was so scared of life. And we're talking like only like a couple years ago.
That is not like how you are now.
It's amazing how much I have changed. It's incredible, because people will say stuff to me. I'll be like, you don't even understand where I come from. This is a miracle. So I painted that painting, and I was like, maybe I can paint people, because I didn't think I could. So then the journey of these next 12 paintings is just, I call it the divine liberation. And up to that point, I had been single for 14 years. I spent that entire time of sobriety. Like, I need to just be away from relationships and men and concentrate on getting to know who the heck I am and loving myself. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, and I like literally like no men, like not talking to them, being super afraid of them. That's a whole other story. But this time when I was painting these paintings, all of a sudden, all these men come in my life. Like, I start meeting men. Men are coming up to me at coffee shops. I'm like, because I'm something on the inside is happening. I must be giving off a little bit more of an openness. I must be giving off some kind of approachability. Not that I was a snob or anything, but I was just closed down and very fearful on the inside and just scared, and I did not trust myself. But I was starting to learn to trust, and I was starting to learn to like open up. And hence I'm like, guys, men are asking me out. Like, I haven't been asked out in 14 years. I was like, And so it was this journey of first meeting a guy who was very, very abusive. And I saw like, wow, I am now, as a conscious adult woman, now very aware of what is going on, and I gravitate toward unhealthy things. And that's my normal from where I come from. But now, as a conscious woman, I am going to be able to use my voice and walk away consciously, aware, awake. And my paintings helped me, because it was very hard, because I got entangled with this man. It was very confusing. Why is he being so mean to me? All I wanted to do was just be nice and love him. And I learned that, yes, be nice, but sometimes from a distance. And so anyway, I painted these paintings, and each one was a woman. And one of them was called Bold. So while I was painting that, I was like learning how to be bold. One of them was called Royalty. I was thinking about, what if I was royalty? Would I allow myself to be treated like this? And I would paint it crying my eyes out, literally bawling, wanting so badly to like, why is it so hard for me to like take care of myself? Why do I settle? You know, all this stuff. And so these paintings walked me through a journey this past year. And now fast forward to a year later, I am such a new woman. Like, I can't even believe it. The men that are in my life, I'm not dating anybody or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, friendships, they are beautiful. Like, these men see me for my talent, my value, my depth, my creativity. They encourage me, they support me, they love me. It's amazing to not be afraid of men and to trust them and to trust myself. And I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm working with this gentleman, we're working on a music video. I'm like, I mean, there's just so much. My life has just went, but it's kind of like bamboo. I heard this story once that bamboo, for the first 5 years of its life, you can't see any growth. But then all of a sudden, and it's growing, but extremely minusculely, if that's a word. Yeah. But then on the 5th year, it shoots up like 10 feet. And so that's what I feel like is happening. Like it might have looked like, I don't know, what have I been doing for the past 14 years? I've been healing on the inside in so many ways. And then now it's just like, because my foundation, my roots are just like super like deep, you know? Yeah. I've been concentrating on all that stuff. So anyway, there's so much more.
I love it so far. That's so good. That's so out of the ordinary too, you know. Like, let me get you on, because I was like,
me.
I haven't heard a story like this in like a while, you know. And so I think there's something to be said for someone who has went through so much and is coming out the other end, smiling, you know, like doing so much work. Doing so much work. And yeah, I love it. So just keep talking.
Yeah, so where I am right now, so a year ago exactly, I went through like that process with my paintings, and my friend, I was just torn up on the inside. My heart was hurting so bad, and my friend just said, "Hey, come to a workout class." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, you'll feel better. Like, just come and move your body. Just come and sweat, you know, and just do something good for yourself. And I was like, all right. And so I went to her workout class, and I have been going ever since. And about 6 months into it, because it just was like, this feels so good. I'm not doing this for the reasons I used to. The reasons where I was, had a severe eating disorder because I thought, oh my God, no one will love me if I'm thin, blah, 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 all that stuff. I was just working out because I felt so amazing to start my day with that. I was like, I never thought I was going to be a person who got up at 6 a.m. and worked out every day. Like, incredible. And then if I skipped a day, no big deal. There was no perfectionism and like, oh my God, I didn't go. It's fine. I eat chocolate. I eat bread, like whatever, balance. I'm not doing it to try to bodybuild. I'm doing it because it just feels so good. And I was diagnosed with osteoporosis at the age of 40. I'm 43 now. Because of all the drugs and all the stuff I did to myself.
You look good for your age. Like, I would not expect 43.
You should have seen me. Oh my gosh. In fact, on my website, under the fitness page, I put like a transformation picture. Like, this is what I look like at 29 when I first got sober, and this is what I look like at 43. And you're like, wait, shouldn't they be the other way around? It really is like, wait, Fountain of Youth or something? So I worked out, and about 6 months into it, I started noticing such significant changes that I was like, I want to become a certified personal trainer. And I went and researched and asked a bunch of other trainers, what's the process and what's the best kind of accreditation? And so I went with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I don't even know how I passed this test, but I passed it on the first try. And like, I got the certificate, and now tomorrow I'm actually teaching 3 classes, one at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 9:15. And then the same thing on Thursday, the same thing on Friday. I do like I call it the bubble boot camp out in the park, because I prefer to be out in nature and just using like benches and the swings and ladders and things like that. And so I do that on the weekends, and that's just been another part of my life that I just never thought I'd ever see myself being a trainer. And I keep showing up. I keep like saying like, okay, like you asked me, hey, do you want to come on live? I'm like, okay. Yeah, like I'm scared as shit. Like scared as shit. Yeah. So, but don't even let myself even think. You're
doing amazing.
Just
you
say
don't
yes.
look scared. You don't look scared at all. I was like, oh, she's got this.
It's freaking hot though. It's 96 degrees here, dude. Oh my God, it's so hot. But just like pushing through that fear, and like I've become, instead of addicted to drugs and alcohol, I've become addicted to like finding out what I'm capable of.
Life. Like,
Life, living every single day. And I don't know, like I'm in so much pain every day that it's maybe, how do I want to explain this? That I should be heavily addicted to drugs, like painkillers. I should be, because it would be nice to just take an edge off of the pain, just a little bit, just for like a minute. Like, and ironically, actually working out is when I feel the best.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
Running, hiking, jumping jacks. I mean, people are like, wait, you have pain, but yet you can work out? I know. It's weird. Yeah. When I'm moving my body and I'm dancing, oh my God, I love dancing. It just free flowing. It feels so good. But still, nonetheless, I do live with a lot of pain. And I'm just grateful that, I don't know why. I don't know why I have the attitude I have, but I'm like, fuck. Sorry. I'm gonna turn these damn lemons into lemonade, because what else am I gonna do? Like, I am not willing to go back to that dark place. I have seen darkness darker than any black. I have seen it. I have been there. I didn't just fear things. I was fear. I wasn't just anxious. I was anxiety. I was so freaking lost for so long, and now I'm not. So so the certified personal training thing is going well, and people are just like, you're amazing. I would take your class any day. Like you're so good at this. I'm like, wow, okay. I guess I found another thing, and then now taking it to like life coaching, and there's just so many things that I've been freed from, and so many things I've been through, and I'm very grateful. Maybe I'll wrap it up with this, but I remember 14 years ago on that first day of sobriety, and I actually was on my knees, kneeling down right next to my bed, and I was overcome with this gratitude that, like, I am not going to hurt myself tomorrow. Like, I can't believe this. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm just done. I don't know why, but, like, I'm done with that life. And I just had this knowing of, like, I'm going into this new life. And I remember thinking, I'll go through anything. Anything I need to go through that's hard, I can go through it without that other stuff that I used to do hurting myself. I don't need that extra pain. If it's pain and uncomfortable and it's getting me somewhere, I'm growing in it. The perseverance is helping me grow. My character is being built in that pain. I will take anything, but not this other pain that was just getting me nowhere. It was just like a merry-go-round. So I remember thinking, I will go through anything. In fact, I want to, because the best thing I could ever hear is a person across the table from me saying, oh my God, you get it. Like, you get it. I'm like, yep, I've been through this, all the hard stuff. Not fun while I was going through it, but I do know what you're talking about, like, to the nth degree. Yeah. I can empathize. I can connect with you. And I will sit here and I will listen, and then I will also just let you be in your space, because I get it. Change doesn't happen overnight. I will accept you as you are, but I will say to you, there's a way through. There is a way through. And in this space that you're in, there's beauty in it. If you can see that, if you can see that there's a way out, that there's something here. So it's just a cool thing to be where I am now, though. Not like where I used to be.
Yeah, definitely. That's so inspiring too. I love this group because, like, my thing is like your thing. I'm like, I just want to inspire you. I want to make you guys do the hard things. And so I was like, you're a perfect addition to this group. And I love it because, like, I really feel that, like, vibe of, like, you attract what you put out, and yeah. I think you are a great example of that. I was like, I'm attracting her because we are similar in a lot of ways. And I had an instant, I'm not to go into it, but I had an instant in college, and when I was dating a bad guy, and just like life was just going downhill, and I could see how someone could get that deep. And I ended up turning it. And I remember one night I was just like, no more. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And so, but I saw, like, how someone can go that deep down a rabbit hole and just their life is just shit for a while, or ever. And I was like, nope. And he is not doing well. But I was like, nope, I am getting out of this, and I am, like, just living life. And so I can kind of, like, see what you're, I get it. Yeah. Not to the level you do.
Well, but thank God you don't need to.
Yeah, right, right. But it's so inspiring to hear that. And I'm just talking about, like we were saying in the beginning, getting you on here just because, like, I think a lot of people are like, well, like, life is hard. I'm like, but do you have chronic pain every day? Like, do you deal with this kind of past? Like, do you? And so getting you on here is just kind of like a.
Hopefully, it's inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
To just be like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, any chip against you, you can start with nothing. I mean, talk about oak tree. Like, it's just a seed, and then it turns into a big oak tree. Like, the lower you go, the higher you can go. Sorry to take over what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, hopefully it's inspiring because, it's relative, too. Like, if I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
it's all relative for sure. But yeah, I think this will be inspiring, and you're hilarious, and you did great. Like, you did really great.
Thank you for having me, and just thank you for you. You are just magic. You really are. You are amazing. You inspire me. You do. And I know you inspire many other people. So I'm grateful to know you. You're so giving, and you're just, oh my gosh, you are just legit.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like, it's nice to hear that every once in a while too, because I'm like just putting stuff out there, and I'm like, I don't know if people are enjoying this or whatever, and so it's nice to get that feedback as well.
But you're doing it.
Yeah,
you're doing it. That's the cool thing. A lot of people don't do it. They don't take that first step, but you know, you're doing it. And like, yeah, where the chips fall is where they fall. But people are being inspired. And I need to tell you, I try to make a point to either text people or call people or message people just to say, like, you know, so many times you think it, like, wow, thank you. But like, if we all didn't say it, then that person is like, well, shit, am I making any kind of a difference? Like, yes, you are, but we're all keeping it inside, you know? So just say it.
That's such a good.
Say it.
That's so good. Yes, you're right. Okay, I think.
All right, you gotta go do your live, and thank you.
Thanks
for
you.
having me.
Have a good night.
This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So, if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am at Art by Andrea Earhart. I will then promote your art on my story and tag you as a little thank you for helping me grow this podcast and our Artist Academy community. I have a reach of over 50,000 on Instagram, so this is a little help me to help you incentive. Also, if you ever want your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy to check out the schedule every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you next week.